all the Hondas making their way out then. It's going to be another big grid of around about 26 as they make their way up the hill. This time it's Ethan Charles leading them out with Rio Wardali alongside Freddie Housego and Thomas Percox on row 2, Mason Webster and Max Wheatley on row number 3. Max Williams, after a good showing in heat number 2, starts 7th with Harris Ali alongside Bobby Peet and Alex McCullough in 10th. 11th then we're going to have Max Gray-Trex and Jack Collinson in front of Harris Roberts and Stanley Clark, Ayrton Ryan, Alfie Forrester on row 8, Lewis Hall and Ralphie Branscombe on row number 9. 19th, Sam Howell starts alongside James Winstanley. Jensen White, after a good heat number 1, starts 21st alongside James Fabricius. Freddie Lyons and Amy Peacock are on row number 12. Then it's Thomas Potter and Cameron Tipping, and Scarlett Percox, novice driver, will start in 27th place. Make their way then down the hill. They'll be greeted by their helpers in a few moments' time. Ethan Charles then on the left, his dad pops the visor up for a final few words of advice. And the final few runners, they're just going to roll into position to let everybody else get in and then make sure their carts are in position. Amy Peacock there is going to have to do something about her cart because she had that lined up pretty much facing towards the pit wall, so she's got that sorted and her cart is just rolling it back with the rear wheel. Everybody then will make their way off. They'll have to come down towards this end of the pit lane where the entrance is out onto track, so they're going to make their way off. Once they are clear, the circuit will be good to go racing. And we are going racing slightly earlier than expected there. I think a few people might have jumped the wall instead of coming all the way down, and we are away. It's a good start then from the back. Looks like Thomas Potter's made a few places from his back row berth, and Ethan Charles has been jumped by Rio Wardali, who makes a great start from the outside of the front row. Holds on, and that's Mason Webster off into the wall with Thomas Percox as well. Stanley Clark's trimming grass, as is Freddie Lyons facing the wrong way, and Ralphie Branscombe. James Winstanley as well. Looks like Mason Webster is stuck in the tyres there and can't get out. He was looking for some assistance, I think, from the marshal on the outside at the top. He might have to get out and drag that car out himself. So Mason Webster, from a grid start of 5th, drops all the way down towards the back end of the grid. He's going to struggle to get that car out now toward this one. Let's see where they come through. Rio Wardali then leading the way, but he's going to get overtaken into the final complexes of corners by Ethan Charles as they come through for the first time. So Charles leading the way from Wardali. Then we've got Max Wheatley, Freddie Housego and Harris Ali, the top 5. Let's see whether we've got any yellows out as we head towards the top, or whether Mason Webster's got going again. There's contact, looks like between Bobby Peet in the background there, not quite sure. It looks like Harris Roberts as well potentially involved in that one, as there was a flash of white and blue, although we have got, I think, Alfie Forrester. Is he in this race? Yes, he is. He's up there as well, so it could have been that car. Very similar in colour, drivers in different suits, but as they head up the hill there, it's just a flash of white and blue. Roberts, though, with a good start now, sees him firmly inserted inside the top 10. He's going to have to try and make his way through as Max Wheatley tries to get past Rio Wardali and can't at the moment. Harris Roberts, though, has got round Max Gray-Trex, and Harris Ali's going to try and slide one down the inside, but in doing so he may go slightly wide and open the door for Bobby Peet. 2 minutes in, and Ethan Charles has got a gap of almost 2 seconds as the chasing pack still cannot find a way past Rio Wardali, who's just parking that number 7 cart where he needs to in order to defend from the rest of the pack. Max Wheatley very, very impatient behind, trying to slide the cart down the inside but can't do it. Wardali parking the number 7 expertly in order to prevent the rest of the field coming through. Harris Roberts now up into 4th place, your current championship leader. He's got to try and find a way through, and now the gap has been created, and that's allowed Wheatley and Roberts to come through. And then Roberts is going to jump Wheatley as well, all the way round the outside. Harris Ali now in the background there, in the red suit and the white helmet on the back of Max Greatrex, and Greatrex gets into the back of Rio Wardali, and Harris Ali's going to come through down the inside. Greatrex with contact into the back of Rio Wardali. Fairly sure that one may well drop the nose. We've got some lap traffic coming up as well after early incidents in this race, and that's going to concertina them all the way up then into Spoon Corner. Ali tries to get alongside Max Greatrex. Will try and get the cutback. In the background lurking though, that's James Fabricius in the blue helmet as they make their way down the hill. So Charles leads with 2.5 second gap to Harris Roberts, Max Wheatley, then Rio Wardali, Harris Ali, Max Greatrex, Bobby Pete, James Fabricius, Freddie Housego and Halfie Forrester was as they came over the line on the previous lap, but as we've pretty much seen in every corner of this third heat, is that changes every single time they come over. So watch for the top left corner. That's going to go crazy about now as everybody finds their way into different positions. Greatrex is tight round the club corner. That's going to allow Harris Ali to potentially get a move down the inside. Fabricius is on the outside. He's going to take a slightly different run. They're 3 wide in the background as they make their way up around that right-hander. Seeing as everybody's made their way through, and now they're going to be 3 wide down there. Fabricius to the inside, Ali to the outside of Greatrex. Greatrex slots back in. Harris Ali almost loses a position to Freddie Housego in the number 69 car, who's sticking with this battle from 5th place, or 4th place in fact, all the way down to himself in 7th place. A good showing from Freddie Housego as we've got looks like a spin there between Alfie Forrester and Bobby Pete. They were inside the top 10 in 9th and 10th respectively. They're going to drop down, and we see Amy Peacock and Sam Howell appear inside the top 10. It's going to drop them all the way down, I think outside the top 20 in fact, as they see them drop down there. Oh, we've got the 69 of Housego facing the wrong way, tries to move down the inside, and he's going to have to wait patiently for most of the field to come through. So a good early showing from Freddie Housego. Now is going to drop him down the order. Bobby Pete there getting confirmation he is now in 21st. As Harris Ali drops a wheel on the grass ever so slightly down there as he tries to maximise his run down the hill off the back of James Fabricius and Max Greatrex. These were 4 wide as Rio Wardali is still holding off Amy Peacock and Sam Howell. They just can't get through off the back of that number 7. He's doing what he needs to do. The run now up the hill. Can Peacock get alongside? They're all still with them, and their Peacock tries to get a nose down the inside of the 7. They're all nose to tail as they come up the hill. Wardali parking it once again to the inside of the Spoon Corner. Then the run down the hill. That cart parked once again. A cart whipped in. That's going to prevent anybody getting a good run on the way out. And Wardali holding on still to 7th place with 2 minutes remaining in this third heat for our Honda Cadets. Remember, a bumper grid. We've got 27 in this one. I think we've got around about 36 signed on, which means that the top 20 will go straight through to the A final. Everybody else will go into a runoff. And with a number of drivers having spins, it's pretty much a lottery as to who's getting through. Almost half the field at some point in this one have either had a spin in this one or earlier on in the day. We've had Stanley Clark, who's had a heat victory, but then had a spin on the grass in at least 1, maybe 2 of the races. So having taken a victory, he may well struggle to even make it through then into the A final. There he is in the background. Off the back, we've got a driver off into retirement. Looks like in the background out of the cart. That looks like it could be one of the Housegos with the bright yellow helmets. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Harris Roberts has managed now to find a way through on Ethan Charles for the lead, having closed that gap of 2.5 seconds down in this race. We're focused on this incredibly intense battle further down the field. Now it's going to see Sam Howell up into 7th place, Potters up into 8th, Wardali down into 9th with Amy Peacock in 10th place. Looks like Harris Ali's found a way past Max Greatrex as they are 2 and 3 wide. Potter goes wide there at the top of the hill, and then down the inside of Sam Howell, gets that cart stopped into Spoon and is through into 7th place. Now the run down the hill as they defend into Carousel. As Harris Ali there, we see the confirmation on the screen, the visual that he's managed to find a way through. Finding a way through as well is Max Wheatley up into 2nd place, with Ethan Charles then dropping down into 3rd. on-screen confirmation. Fabricius running in 4th in front of Ali, Greatrex, Howell. Although we know Potter now will come through in 7th, having got through. There's your on-screen swap. Wardali and Peacock completing the top 10, although everybody behind is nose to tail. The time at the top elapses to 0. It will be a last lap board the next time round for your race leader, Harris Roberts. .8 of a second is the gap then for your leader, as Ethan Charles has managed to get back down the inside of Max Wheatley for 2nd place. So this one's going to run all the way through towards the checkered flag as Ethan Charles gets a huge amount of curb on the outside, then parks the kart to the inside. That's Forrester and Lewis Hall off onto the grass. Not sure where that is, but there's going to be yellow flags somewhere if those karts can't get back on track, which is going to negate at least one overtaking opportunity. Ethan Charles now parking that 49 kart to the inside to try and stop Max Wheatley getting a good run. Wheatley does get a run though, but I'm going to put him on the outside, because I can assure you Ethan Charles will park that 49 machine to the inside as they make their way down the hill now. Can Max Wheatley make something happen down here? Gets alongside Ethan Charles. Will he get the cut back into the final complex of corners? Charles then will lead over the line for 2nd place, will he? Let's see, it's going to be tight. Roberts takes the victory from Ethan Charles and Max Wheatley, the top 3. Fabricius, Ali, Greatrex, and then Potter coming through from near the back to move up into 7th with Sam Howell, Rio Wardali and Max Williams, the top 10 in front of Peacock, Collinson, White, Rye, Clark, Tipping, McCullough, Branscombe, Pete and Percox. Your top 20. Still got runners now coming over the line. Webster recovers after that opening lap spin, which put him miles back to come through back into 21st place. But there is your race winner making his way through, Harris Roberts, for the victory in our Honda Cadet class. Just having a look for some confirmations if we've got anybody. Micromax was clear. Minimax as well. Looks like we have got a 5-second penalty applied to the race winner in that one, Lewis Goff, but gaining an advantage through contact, and that drops Lewis Goff down the order from winning the race down into 8th place.